Well, I don't really think in terms of subscribers. I don't try and get as many as I can.
Whoa! Domino's I'm okay. Jesus!
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.
Hello everybody! It's time for the YouTuber talk. Now, this was actually supposed to be a bit of an antique roadshow thing. People would bring up stuff and we sort of review it. I don't know if it was really promoted that way, so we'll do it for the people that did bring some stuff. But it may turn into a typical YouTuber Q&A, which is also good. So I suppose we'll work our way down. My name is DJ Slope from the YouTube channel Slope's Game Room, and yeah, I do the Complete History series and the Kick Scammer series, where I take the heat out of some really bad Kickstarter campaigns. Other crowdfunding websites do exist as well, and that's me. Over to you.
Hello? 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 Really? Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me.
Can we turn up Nostalgia Nerd? Oh, I've given away who he is now.
Oh, hashtag hello. Hello? Hello? Oh, wait a minute, I have to hold it really close to my face. Hello, my name is Peter Lee, also known as the Nostalgia Nerd on YouTube. Recently written a book called Retro Tech, which I'm very proud of. And I thought I'd gatecrash this YouTube panel to join you all.
That's the word.
That's the word, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Hello, testing. Is it working? Okay, fine. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Top Hat Gaming Man, aka the most evil man on YouTube. Thank you, sir. And what I do is create content on strange, bizarre, cancelled systems, along with other pieces of fouled retro tech.
Hey everybody, my name is Kim Justice. Shockingly, I'm a YouTuber, otherwise I wouldn't be on here. I do documentaries about various old games, old consoles, people who would be considered quite nasty, generally from the gaming world, and any other sort of weird thing that catches my attention. Licensed games, basically you name it. It's like an encyclopedia of rubbish crap from the last 30 years. That's me, pretty much.
Amazing self-review. Hi, I'm Octav1us, that's with a 1 instead of an I because I'm awkward. My channel, I like to live on the edge. My videos are basically pushing myself to the very, very near edge of a mental breakdown by playing some of the world's worst video games and consoles and writing reviews about them and getting very shouty and a little bit sweary. Although I do beep out the swear words, so kids can watch it.
There you go. So just to get a gist, did anybody actually bring anything for us to... I've got 1, 2,
Yes.
3. Something at the back as well. 4. Okay, so we got a good amount of people.
Excellent.
Before I do that, I have got the results of the quiz. Was there many people in here in the quiz earlier on? Yeah, okay. So I'll just shout out who's the winners. Actually, I'll go the other way. I'll start with third, bronze, which was Zacked Duck. Is Zack Duck there? No. Yeah, so you're joint third with Kim Justice. Hey, there you go.
Unbelievable.
In silver, Ugandan Sonic. Hey. And then in first place, you've got Sonic's weird teeth. Yes.
Hey.
The quiz was very hard. There were 60 possible points and Ugandan teeth. Oh no, sorry, Sonic's weird teeth got 30. So yeah, 30, 28, 27. There you go. So congrats, I'll sort the prizes out a little bit later on. Now I know you will ask. Yeah, thank you. So should we review some stuff? Yeah, I suppose one of us needs to run down and collect it. Go on,
Hi me, you're right.
Who's got something for us to review, I suppose? Okay. This is
It goes on forever.
Oh, I've got this.
Oh, what's that? That looks like a Mega Drive game.
Yes, so this is a game called Mahjong Cop. Have you guys ever seen this?
Look at that.
I have seen this.
Open up
Amazing.
the
It's got
manual.
RoboCop on the front.
No, I know. Open up the manual. Open up the manual. Obviously, this is a game that most British people can't play. It's an RPG Mahjong Cop game.
Wow.
But in the manual, you've also got RoboCop.
We've got Arnie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Look at this.
There's a full-on comic with a crazy amount of stolen IPs. It's brilliant. Anyone else that you see in there? I think there's a wrestler, but I don't know wrestling. Anyone here know wrestling?
I know absolutely nothing about wrestling, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
What's going on? They're like playing Mahjong, and then they just get into some ferocious fighting scene.
The top syndicates in Japan, the only way to beat them is via Mahjong. Apparently it's got something to do with that. I've got this game for just for the box art. 10 are well spent, I'd say.
How many Mahjong games are there on the Mega Drive, do you think?
About 2,000.
Wow.
Look, there's like, I want to say about 400 Japanese Mega Drive games. Out of those 400, there's got to be about 30, 40, I reckon.
I would say around that. They're all this Mahjong.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
He's using those
No, that's,
Mahjong pieces.
what's the famous Wild West actor?
this guy?
What's his name?
John Wayne?
It's Clint Eastwood.
What is his name?
It's Clint Eastwood on the back as well.
Just with a handful of Mahjong pieces.
For the Mahjong. He's the big syndicate in Japan.
I'll pass it down.
There you go. Oh wow, look, you've got it's just, you've got Kiss, you've got Robocop, you've got something that looks like James Bond, you've got I don't know, that could be Stin. It's like Stin.
Where's Sting?
Well, this one, it's like Stin crossed with Arnie. And he's got face paint on.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's
a bit
good
of a
choice.
mashup, isn't
Good
it?
choice.
It is quite, and that is. I mean, I don't know if it's a sort of documentary type game, if that's actually what happens, you know. Big old serious Mahjong contest, because they banned guns in Japan completely, so they've got to duke it out somewhere or another.
The name's your YouTube channel.
Yeah, just throw Mahjong at each other.
I can't remember what it's called.
Where's that go?
So Tomorrowcade was the person that actually gave us that, so
Okay.
I highly suggest you go and subscribe to
Yeah,
Tomorrowcade as
go
well.
subscribe.
Very, very good channel.
And thanks for the free game. Yeah.
Maybe featuring her in an upcoming under 5k channel. It's very, very good.
I actually bought my book, so.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. That's how you win favours. No, there it is. Yeah.
With money.
Influence people. Yes. It's all about.
So this thing here is from the Retro Future, another channel that's blowing up big time right now. Actually, great channel. How do you describe it? A bit taking apart hardware, a lot of handheld stuff. You know. Yeah, the video just blew up for him recently. He bought £4 worth of 3DS parts, I believe, off eBay and managed to get a working 3DS out of it. Yeah, go and check him out. The Retro Future, really good channel. Yeah, so what's he giving us?
This is a Game Boy Color Light. It's really nice, actually. Look at that paintwork. This is like a Pimp My Ride version of a Game Boy.
Yeah. You modded this yourself? Yeah, so okay, so he's put this together himself. It's a backlit Game Boy Color Light.
Really nice. I mean, it massively improves the playability.
I think you're supposed to pass it down rather than just play it.
No.
We've lost
That
him
will
now.
not happen.
You invite him on the panel.
Does anyone else want to? Oh.
Anyway, Elliot, Mr. Retro Future, I would like to thank you for this fantastic gift, which you donated to me on Twitter prior to this panel, so thank you for that. Basically, one of the things I like to do on my channel is I like to go around the world and experience the finer things in life whilst playing some of the finest handhelds. And this is one fine handheld, Elliot. So, before I keep this for myself, I'm going to let Kim take a look. Enjoy.
Has anyone got anything, by the way?
So
Over that side?
yeah, it's got nice colour scheme in it. It's got nice colour. The colour's nice. What did you think I said? Go on.
Someone got something down this side, I got told. Whereabouts? Oh, over there.
You do some pretty damn good stuff.
Lovely.
Oh.
The Mega Drive 32X.
The best console ever made.
I adore this system.
It's nice.
Is this the Japanese model?
It's Asian, I think, isn't it? Is it Asian?
This is it's definitely not the British one that I know of, but like the tower is.
I think that
Made in Japan. So you would
What does that
assume
mean?
Japanese.
I think it might be the Japanese one.
Maybe, yeah. But yes, the 32X, I absolutely adore that system. There wasn't many more than 32 games properly released for it, was there?
Yeah.
Very
It's a system that didn't really get enough love. I mean, it's understandable why it didn't get enough love, because it was released at a really stupid time.
Yes, literally months before. Well, I think in Japan it was actually released like. It might have even been released after the Saturn in Japan.
Crazy.
So it didn't do it so naturally. It didn't do well at all.
What's your favourite game from the 32X?
Well, the game I bought it for was Knuckles Chaotix, which I like, but the Space Harrier port is fantastic on it.
Yes,
really good
that
Space Harrier port.
for me is the best.
I have to say as well, I really like Knuckles Chaotix on this system. I think there's a possibility that it's actually one of the greatest Sonic games ever made. And
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You're wrong.
It doesn't get the credit it deserves.
It's about as good as Sonic Crackers. Oh no, hang on, it is Sonic Crackers.
I think it would have been really good at Outrun. If there was an Outrun arcade port on there, it would have been nice.
I think maybe also if there'd been like a Galaxy Force on there or something.
Yeah.
Maybe actually I don't know. Maybe it would have been Galaxy Force would have been a bit much better, but it'd be better than the Mega Drive port.
It had a lot of scope, didn't it? But it just got cut short.
It's strange. Actually, I did get one at a boot sale and it didn't work. And it was like a tenner. That was like back in like 2000 and
It
stuff.
used to be so cheap, didn't it? Like, early
You used to be able to get
I think I paid £20 for mine.
I got mine box was 15 quid. I got Knuckles Chaotix with it for 15 quid. And then as I was walking out of this retro game shop that was going out, I was like, what's that on the floor? Literally, I almost like trod on it. And it was a CD looking Sega thing. And he's like, oh, you can have that with it. And it was a CDX. The multi-mega.
Nice.
And then I sold that.
It's a beautiful little wee thing. I mean, it is. It's got.
It's a terrible design, isn't it? I mean, it
does look like a toilet. When you put it on there, it looks like a toilet.
And you know, it's but there's something endearing about its badness, and especially
No, but it's
when
not
you
a
look
bad
at
console.
No, it's not bad.
The amount of content for it is bad. That's the bad thing about it.
Most of the games are pretty dire. I mean, there's some good ones.
Calibri. The Spider-Man game.
Virtua Racing was good.
Spider-Man game's awful.
Isn't that the one that's like worth 300 quid?
It's worth 300
That's because people are idiots, not because it's a good game.
I mean, it's.
There you go.
It's.
Isn't Eternal Champions on that as well?
No, that's Sega CD. Or Mega CD.
How do we think the system would have done if it was released as a 2-in-1 system with the Mega Drive as the Sega Neptune, which apparently they had in the works at the same time as the Sega Saturn?
I think that could have done well if it wasn't for the Saturn at the same time.
Yeah,
There was
no,
point,
they were
is
doing
there?
the Saturn. It's like it would have tanked.
And also, I think it's a great collector's retro piece, because at the time it doesn't work, but now it does. Because now, yeah, we do want to get Space Harrier for it, but at the time, Space Harrier 2 was almost a launch title for the Mega Drive.
First game.
And then, like, what was it, like 4 or 5 years later, they released the original again, so they always went back on themselves, even though it was a better version of the game.
Can I say as well, despite the fact that a lot of the 32X games are rather pricey, the system can be emulated pretty well as well, so you can experience
Been able to
but
emulate.
not without paying the crazy prices.
Yeah, but not via the Mega SG, sadly. Which I'm a little bit gutted about. Because I've got one of them and I thought, oh, put that straight in. No, don't work.
Sorry, do you think it would, because it hasn't got the ports on the back, has it?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a half stick where you have to be half analog.
Yeah.
Apparently the one, the Mega, struggles with it a little bit as well, from what I've heard.
Well, everyone says I've got a multi-mega or a CDX, and that's the best system to play it on, but I never got my multi-mega to work on a 32X, so I don't know people that lie.
There's two versions, one which works on, and one which...
Oh, I had the one that didn't work on.
Does not.
Maybe I did show it when I left there.
Well, there's like the Multi-Mega, there's the Wonder Mega, there's the XI, there's all sorts, isn't
Mega
there?
Jet.
CDX, Mega Jet, which is over there. No.
Anything else?
So people say the design's bad, but I mean, I think Sega did well with what they had, because they had to put it on the top as well to make it work.
Yeah, and but it's kind of one of the cases where you do kind of think, how much worth was it doing? If they just concentrated more on just everything on the Saturn, they could have made that a bit better.
Bad timing.
Look at this. So we have to hold it up that way, otherwise it's all going to fall out.
Oh, is this lunch? Yeah.
Oh, it's Domino Rally!
Nice.
Mark 1!
Wow.
Look at that!
So who's going to build this?
Oh, I've got it. Jesus Christ.
Get on the floor.
Don't do it here, because I want to see. There you go. Do it over there, do it over there.
Oh, yeah, because that's going to be right behind the TV, isn't
We're
it?
having lots of fun back here, guys. While he builds that, should I try and get anything else, or is there anything else? It doesn't, I don't think there is anything else. No, no.
It's just
okay.
lazy dominoes, isn't it? It's brilliant. It's just can't be bothered to
They
stack them
actually,
up.
does anyone remember the little machine they made that went along and like drops down dominoes behind it? Yeah.
I had one of those as a small child.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing you could make something really cool out for a video these days. Well done.
Yeah. Well, the domino channels are.
The domino channels are, yeah, they're just, they have like 100 million something views just for, putting something together.
As a YouTuber sometimes, especially like, recently I done that Mario Kart complete history. It took me about 2 months to make that video. And it's sometimes you become that person where you're like, oh man, I spent 2 months making that video. I got like, I don't know, like 60k. And someone else just did a news story and got 70k talking about Sonic's teeth. Oh my god, then you feel really bad, but then you can't really complain when those domino channels are spending weeks and weeks building up these incredible structures.
Yeah, at least that actually takes effort. I mean, because, well, there's been some trends over the years that are like, well, I know, what was it, the hot knife.
Yeah, that's it, they should get a domino on and will it burn?
Another one was difficult. You get papers on YouTube. That must be pretty tough as well. The amount of work that goes into animation.
Who brought this in?
Mr. Novabug. Another very good channel, especially if you're into the Amstrad stuff.
Do you know how to put this together? This is more
Get
complicated
up here,
than I
Novabug.
envisaged.
Show us how to do it, mate. So, yeah, I suppose it's got to the point in this stage where people ask us questions and one of us runs around, probably me. Has anyone got any questions for YouTubers or anything like that? Yeah, gaming music. Please come over here, mate, so I don't have to run over to you.
Is that like a counterweight?
Go on. Mr. Gaming Music, another very good channel.
Kim Justice,
Yes.
are you ever going to restring your guitar?
There are so many words that I want to say to you right now that I'm not saying because there's children in the audience, but I'll just say F, C, D, T. You know what I'm saying.
Love you too.
Yeah. Go away.
Fantastic. Cool. Dude. Totally awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
Any other questions for the YouTuber panel here? It seems to be the thing where I'm running around and people are asking questions for other people. Hey, here we go.
It goes for all of you, really. How did you all come up with your name?
Okay, that's cool. How did we all come up with our names?
Okay, Alta. I used to post on a message forum ages ago, and I used to be a Detective John Kimball of a kindergarten cop, and I kind of got sick of that after a few years, and I just kind of asked that around, anyone got any other suggestions? And someone suggested Kimball Justice.
There you go.
Which just kind of stuff. I think it's because I was also playing a lot of Ace Attorney at the time. And so someone, and it was one of those things stuck, and then obviously it later became Kim Justice. Yeah, big short.
What I'm really confused about, how did you come up with Top Hat?
Well, prior to my YouTubing days, I was a professional wrestler for over 10 years. And my gimmick, as they call it, was a wrestling politician who was a villain who wore a top hat. So I decided I was going to start a channel on one of my other passions, which was gaming, and I wanted to call the channel Top Hat Gaming. But then when I went to register my channel, I noticed there was already about 10 bloody channels called Top Hat Gaming, so I had to just stick another word on the end. So it became Top Hat Gaming.
Like your password, Top Hat Gaming.
Yes, exactly like that, yeah.
Well, you notice that we're in an infinite loop. Like, my arms is really long. Awesome. That entertained me, I'm sorry. That was really bad for you guys.
We're easily amused.
I might make that a new video. Look at everyone so happy with our amazing jokes.
Hey, banter.
Has anyone got any questions? Look at all those hands up in here.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Oh no, sorry, Octavius, where did you come up with your name?
Well, it's a really, really long and heartfelt story, so I'll try and make it really simple. I used to be not really an actress. I used to think I was an actress. And I got cast in Julius Caesar at Brighton Fringe, which means it was like really weird and alternative, and I had the part of Portia, who in this version of Julius Caesar eventually became the male character of Octavius. Not in a kind of like, more in a becoming less shy and awkward and becoming a really strong, powerful person. So I just took Octavius because I thought, well, if I could pretend to be a powerful, strong person on YouTube, maybe I'll be able to do a YouTube channel, because I'd wanted to do one for ages, but I was terrified of the camera. Yeah, not even that exciting. I wish it was something really cool, like, I don't know, there was an explosion and there was cars.
And then the bank robber shouted out, and that's my name!
Yeah, exactly!
What about you, Nostalgia Nerd? I think he sort of explains himself.
Jesus Christ! What's the question?
Where did your name come from? So you should go through 2 mics.
I guess there's 2 answers to that. The first is because I'm a nerd about nostalgia. I mean, that's my big thing, is nostalgia. And that works. But also, just before I made my channel, I was doing SEO work, and obviously you get the nostalgia critic, and you get the angry video game nerd, and I thought I might be able to pick up a bit of traffic if I just shoved those 2 names together, and worked off the back of that. Well, it was partly that, and then partly because this is 5 years ago, so negative SEO wasn't a thing. No, not really. It was these early days.
Thank God you didn't become the angry video game critic.
Time for a rebrand.
There you go.
So that's about it.
So are you just giving up, or are we at a stage now where we're going to drop this? It's go on, drop what you've done so far. I'm not doing it. Nostalgia Nerd, here we go. Drums, please.
That side. Okay. Oh yeah!
How rubbish was that?
The 80s were great.
What is that weird feeling that you get when you see dominoes fall over? It's like a kind of almost
spectacular,
sensual feeling. Yeah. It's really thrilling. It's nice, satisfying.
I'm so glad we did that.
That's fits to you. And that's
Was it?
I am disappointed at how long that took for you to set up, given that all the dominoes are already stuck into the
hard.
thing.
They are harder than proper dominoes. It's really difficult. This is a terrible concept, looking back. Whoever thought this up is an absolute moron.
Look at the guys in front of the box. Following on from what
I kind of hear.
There's no way they did that. They did not set that up. Is it actually logically flawed, is it?
So, yeah, following on
Peter, quiet.
Sorry.
So yeah, just following on from what you were saying, Octavius, about the confidence, do you still get that sort of anxiety of, is what I've made good enough once you've created something? And how do you get past that?
I'll be honest, I don't get past that. I very, very rarely watch other people's YouTube videos. Even though these guys are all YouTubers I used to watch before I became a YouTuber, now I will look at them and think, oh God, theirs are so much better than mine. And there's even the smallest thing I will be agonising over. Every time I put a video up, I can't look at it ever again, because if I find something wrong, I'll take the entire thing down and just have an anxiety attack. It's embarrassing. I have anxiety attacks before streams. I have anxiety attacks before I even put a video up. So yeah, that's quite depressing because I'm not actually over it at all. I wanted to give you a really inspiring, something for you to work with, but actually no, I'm just a mess.
I think you've definitely improved though, Octavius. Octavius, you're nowhere near as shy as you was when I first met you at Blackpool like a year and a half ago, or whatever it was. I remember that first time you was really, I don't know. And I'm having to come out the door, which was just there, to come and find you. You're totally a lot more a more confident person now. I mean, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, it's all I have to rev myself up, and the reason why I'm Octavius is because I have to be that character. I have to be in proper sort of method acting ridiculousness. It's like when I came here, I was just dressed as my normal, as myself, and the people coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Octav1us," was like, "Oh my god, oh guys, oh what?" But then when I put the ears on and put the hair on and the makeup, I feel like a completely different person, so I can handle it. It's weird, it's strange psychology, bizarre.
Anxiety that about YouTube, I mean, it has kind of got significantly less for me over time. I mean, a lot of it kind of went away in a month or so after I transitioned, really. Like, because I actually felt I was doing stuff as myself then, rather than, you know, pretending, and so my stuff I kind of feel got a lot better from there. I mean, stuff still comes up from time to time. You kind of think, oh, is this right? Normally if you're trying to do something that's a bit new, that's not necessarily what you're known for, you kind of think, oh, how are people actually going to take that? But you just got to jump in, see what happens, you know? If they like it or they don't.
I'd say when it comes to anxiety, all I can really relate it to is in terms of trying to get the views themselves. When you're pumping 30 to 40 hours every single week into making an in-depth video, and then you upload it, and then you get a lot less views than you think you're going to gain from it originally, then obviously that's a little bit of a kick in the teeth. However, sometimes it can be the complete opposite, and you can put some time into a video and then it can perform exponentially better than what you're expecting. So it's ups and downs really, and if we're going to talk about anxiety at all, for me personally, it's whether or not my video's going to get views. How do you feel about that?
I think it's sorry, you can keep that, yeah. I think it's weird because as you get as you do more videos, your standards for yourself gets higher. So the anxiety doesn't kind of go away. You get more professional about it, and you think that hasn't quite got the polish I want it to have. So if I look at one of my videos now and compare it to one of my first videos, it's miles different, but I'm still not happy about putting a video out, you know, even without current standards. I always want to improve, and I think there's that constant kind of need to improve and make something better than the last, which keeps you slightly anxious about what you release.
I honestly don't have an answer for it. I literally work on my channel 6, mostly 7 days a week, and I just don't stop, so I never have a chance to feel anything other than just rush. You know what I mean?
It's okay.
I'm not, I don't feel anxious, I'm just like tired more than anything, I suppose. So I'm not the person to answer that question, but they gave you good answers.
Oh, this close. You have to hold it this close to your face. I feel like some kind of gangster rapper now, but without any credibility. I was wondering, sort of, some of your channels grew quite quickly, or you had some spikes in views and things. I wondered if you had ever expected those changes to happen, or if you were kind of prepared for the viewership and the subscribership to go up that fast.
For me, it was when I started doing system stories. So I started doing documentaries about systems which I was interested in and their backstory, and I guess because there was nothing else on the internet with that much detail at the time, it grew from that point onwards. But I didn't really expect it. It was just kind of things seemed to work out best for me when I'm making videos about things I love to talk about, and that's what I did, and that seemed to grab traction.
For me, it's always been, I'd say, a steady incline since day one, but what I did notice quite early on, well, I say early on, about the first year in, I noticed I did a lot better when I uploaded videos about standalone consoles rather than the games themselves. They would get a lot more views. So obviously when I noticed that, that's the direction I sent my channel in, was mainly covering the history of systems rather than the games, because that's what people were clicking.
Yeah, kind of similar to a nostalgia nerd. Things kind of really picked up for me when I started doing documentary style videos, and when I kind of started talking about certain people as well, like making videos on figures like Clive Sinclair, Jack Tramiel, Alan Sugar and all that, and then also kind of doing system stuff as well. That was what really started to get my channel going, and I found I was getting mentioned a lot more in different places, as opposed to just like doing, again, like videos about games, you know, because sometimes you've got to have just a bit more than just reviewing a game to actually get more of an angle and get them to get some decent views going.
Yeah. there's a few videos, and I say few, like under 10, like maybe 5 or so videos that have surprised me that they've done better than I expected. But honestly, from the very, very first video I did, I was naughty and I posted my video in the area you're not supposed to post videos in, over on the Retro Gamer magazine forum, and looking, no response, no response. Now I looked up the next day and there was like 2 pages of like positives, and I got, it doesn't sound like a lot now, but I got like 10 or 15 subs out of that. And like my first 10 or 15 subs that weren't family members, you know. And I thought to myself, wow, if I get another video out, then hopefully I'll get 30, and then that's just the way it's always worked. If I do this, then that'll double it, this, that'll double it. And that's just exactly how I've always thought, and it's pretty much always just gone that way. So I've been, the same as you, steady with, you know, if I think to myself I'm putting 1 video out a month, if I put 2 videos out a month, I should get double the amount of subscribers, and that's just exactly how it works. So yeah, that's it for me. So yeah, what about yourself?
Well, I don't really think in terms of subscribers. I don't try and gain as many as I can.
Whoa!
Is that a domino rally?
Yeah, I'm okay. Jesus! Did anyone catch that?
It's a little bit awkward. You've not broken yourself, have you?
No, I'm hurt, but I'm okay.
Okay, well that's fine then. We're all hurt inside. I can't really follow up to that, can I? There's nothing that I can say, really.
Just punch that guy as well. Stop laughing! That's good. I'm glad you caught that.
Okay, sorry.
Mind the slope! Very good, very good.
With me, I was in Digitizer, and then I was on Bartians, and I went from 4,000 subscribers to about 20,000 in the space of maybe 2 months. And I'll be honest, it was horrible. And the reason why I haven't really increased in subscribers very much in the last couple of months, I think I've only get about 2,000, is because I haven't been putting myself out there because I'm terrified. I mean, going from having 4,000 subscribers to having quite a curated fan base and everything, to suddenly you have 20,000. I mean, I know that's not a lot in terms of most YouTubers, but to me that feels like a huge amount, because I'm just imagining 20,000 people in a room and I'm scared to hell. It freaks me out. Any kind of big subscriber count increases I can't cope with, because then suddenly my content has to be exponentially better. I can't even say that word because I'm freaking out at the thought of the fact that I have 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, I can't cope with it. I mean, the most important thing to me is that I have a lot of Patreon supporters who are like true fans and incredible people. And I have more Patreon supporters than a lot of people with 100,000 subscribers have. And I think that's the most important thing. It's not about subscribers, it's about having fans who genuinely like you and they want to see you and spend time with you. It's not about the views. Interestingly, the video that I have with the most views is quite an old one, of me opening an Amiga 500, and pretty much all the comments are just people telling me that I'm stupid for not knowing how to turn it on properly. I really enjoy that. People come and watch it and they just tell me that I'm a stupid cow for not...
A little bit.
Well, I had to call you and that's how to turn it on. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's it. If you want lots of views, do content where you can't turn something on, because people, you'll get emails, you'll get DMs, you'll get everything.
Everyone just take you out.
Yeah, so Chloe.
Right, okay, I think everyone can hear me now. So, what games, which are typically considered rubbish, do you actually love and think are great?
Rise of the Robots. Amazing game. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I think I'm still caught on the hype train. The hype train was so huge in like 1992. I haven't got off it. I'm just
do you have like a poster of like that stupid blue droid in like a magazine somewhere and it's stuck?
I'd love a poster of that on my wall. Yeah.
Is the edge feature just stuck to those 2 pages whenever you open that mag?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's good.
Cool. crap game that I like. I have a really soft spot for a game called World Cup Italia 90. Talked about in the video a few years ago.
Everybody had that game. Great game.
Yeah. Mega Games 1, you know, you got Super Anon, you got Columns, you got World Cup Italia 90. And World Cup Italia 90, it's just, as soon as you hear that music,
it's incredible, isn't it?
And it's the sort of game, it's like, you might have like all these brilliant games that you could be playing, but you don't want to put the time in, you just can't be asked. And it's like, oh, I'll play some World Cup Italia 90 and I'll kick a ball around this rubbish game for 30 minutes and there you go.
It's probably the only game where I appreciate the cutscenes, which take like 5 seconds to kick a ball out.
Yeah, because it was an early Mega Drive game, it had to have like actual cutscenes, like just for things like a goal kick or a corner, and it's absolutely pointless and it doesn't work. But it was new. It's like 16-bit.
Part of the game, yeah.
It's the future. Really wasn't. But yeah, so that'd be my answer.
Okay. For me, it's Hotel Mario on the Philips CDI. I think it is dreadfully underrated. If you judge it against other Mario games, then yes, it's not the best, but...
Play Expo Manchester. Just to let you know that on the main stage at 3 o'clock it is going to be the cosplay masquerade. Some fantastic...
Excuse me? Quiet, please!
Well worth the watch. And at 4:15 we have the Jet Set Willy 35th anniversary talk with some fantastic information about the game and some awesome stories about its development, I'm sure. Over on the streaming stage, we're finishing off the day with some Apex Legends and Fortnite, so feel free to head over there if you fancy some games of that. We've also still got the retro challenges going on till the end of the day, and the traders, of course, will be open until 6 with some awesome souvenirs for you all to grab while they last. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
He's taking the piss,
Expo Manchester.
Have you finished? Hey! Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, Hotel Mario. I bloody love that game. I think it is dreadfully underrated. If you judge it against other Mario games, it's not the best, but if you judge it on its own merit, it's pretty good. And I feel a lot of people misjudge it because they play with the horrible CDI spoon controller, which came packed in with the system. If you play on a proper controller, bloody good fun. That's it.
I think, for me, because I'm not going to be the person that goes and asks the next question, someone else can go down next. Sonic Adventure gets a hard rap these days, but I absolutely adore playing that game.
Sonic Adventure is amazing.
It's brilliant.
It's one of the best games ever made.
It's brilliant.
It's so good. Right, you need to leave. You need to get out.
No, it's terrible.
It's so good. Whoa! Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The bit where I still get goosebumps on that intro. You know, that incredible
music.
The Crush 40.
That intro was awful. That was like
no way.
5 minutes of pain.
You gotta love Sonic Adventure. It inspired the Sonic 2 comic book series. Come on, it's worth it for that.
I love it, and that scene when Sonic runs through the building, stops on the glass, and then starts running down the side of the body. Oh my god! I'm 5 years old again. No, amazing. So, does someone else want to go and ask a question while you answer yours?
Okay, stay with me. There's a ZX Spectrum game, which I think might have been a typing game, I'm not entirely sure. It's called Final Fight. And I think it was released in 1999. No, well, anyway, I think it's either a typing game or just a crappy game that somebody said it was never published. Basically, you're a jellyfish, and you've got a gun. And there's another jellyfish, and that jellyfish has got a gun. And you press the space bar, and you both jump, and you shoot at each other, and that's it. That is the entire game. And every time I play it on a stream, I just wet myself laughing because it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, but it's so adorable. Do check it out. Final Fight, ZX Spectrum, jellyfish with guns. Okay, awesome.
Sounds better than the more famous Final Fight.
Oh, on the Spectrum it is, yeah. It really is.
Okay, Elliot here has got a question, so here's the microphone.
Okay. So I recently watched a video of yours, Peter, where you went to a car boot sale, I think, or you called it thrift shopping, a bit cheeky.
American, yeah.
Yeah. And
Clint.
That you had a table filled with like a pile of stuff in another video as well, where you've been sent bits and bobs. So for like myself, Richard, and a couple of other people, obviously we make videos on physical, tangible stuff. What do you do with all of it, and how do you select what you want and what you don't want?
How do I choose what I want from a car?
No, from the collection, of your pile of stuff.
What do I do with it?
Yeah.
I just ram it in a cupboard and seal it up.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, my office is becoming a bit of a problem. There's a lot of stuff in there, and it's quickly running out of space. I moved offices end of last year. I'm now in an office with Stuart Ashen and Did You Know Gaming, but my stuff is encroaching out of my office into the hallway, and every time they come in, they can see a bit more. They're spreading closer to their office, so they're a bit worried, I think. But you know, I need to start selling it really, because at the moment it's just piling up.
Okay, we got any more questions? Okay, you young man.
Careful.
This is a question for DJ Slope. How did you manage to launch a beer?
I haven't got a microphone anymore.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah, hi. How did I manage to launch a beer? Connections. Like I said earlier on, I DJ'd at Download Festival, so I got to know a few people that worked at Live Nation and a few other DJs. When you get to start knowing those people, some guy knows a guy that runs a brewery, and that guy apparently likes my Slopes Game Room show. I was at some horrible convention actually with you, the Anime League one. I went along to that, and he goes, "Oh yeah, my mate likes your channel. Can you ring him up and like be DJ Slope?" And I was like, "Hey there!" And he got all excited and goes, "Oh, I'll let you do your own beer if you want." That's where that came from, basically.
Excellent, wonderful. Another question. Anyone else? Yes, Tamara, Kate. Here we go.
Hello. Question for everyone really. What are your best tips for small channels and people just starting out on YouTube?
Best tips for small channels.
Keep your distance from the microphone. I would say the best tip is just to do what you love doing and just keep at it. Because the moment you start concentrating on stats and analytics and numbers, it just doesn't work. You obsess over it, and then you start producing content which isn't fun. You don't enjoy it. So just do what you like and keep at it and keep improving it, and share it as well. Share it in social media groups. You go on Facebook, share it in all the Facebook gaming forums. Everywhere you can, go onto other forums and share it, and someone will pick it up.
YouTube is pretty awesome. If you want to learn how to promote yourself, go on YouTube to learn how to promote yourself. One of the earlier things that I did was learn how to use Twitter. So I would make a video, Streets of Rage. You know, I did a video about Streets of Rage. I found people that were talking about Streets of Rage by searching hashtag Streets of Rage. Next thing you know, I've got a lot of people that would want to be talking about Streets of Rage and see a Streets of Rage video. All of a sudden I'm talking to them. I never ask people to join my channel, but when I'm talking to them, oh, what's this guy, you know, looking on my timeline, they start looking. Eventually, I spent I'm talking hours a day doing that. And that would get me maybe 10 subs a day. And then I got to maybe 10, 15,000. That wasn't the only thing I was doing, obviously. But when I got to about 10,000, I realised that was a bit of a pointless thing to do when I'm at 10,000. So I started finding new ways to push out onto Twitter and stuff like that. For me, without Twitter, I don't think I'd be anywhere near as big as I am. You got to imagine that you're in a room full of people that want to talk about retro gaming, which is my paradise. But that room exists online. Just go and find it and start talking to people about retro gaming. It's very easy to find people. Like I said, my first one, I went over to Retro Gamer forums. They like my content. You know, that's just how I do it. And like you said, Facebook groups. Yeah. I was in there as well.
You really need to get into web marketing, don't you? Yeah. And really pursue that in parallel to the YouTube channel. Work out a method of getting yourself out there, at least to start with, so that then people yeah. Then once the algorithm's latched onto you, you're okay.
I'd say as well a big thing. All by my dead. My dead. Yeah, still working. This is it. What's going on? I've confused myself now. Can you hear me? Good. What I was going to say as well, if you're building a channel, was try and be consistent. So no good.
Give him all the mics.
Here you go.
Have another one.
Okay. Is this working? Good. What I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're building a channel, try and be consistent as possible. Work out what works for you. So with Mr. DJ Slopes here, for example, he's got his complete history series and his kick scammer series. So when people go to his channel, they know exactly what to expect. People want to go to a channel and essentially find something they're familiar with. So I've got my cancelled consoles, my failed consoles, and my handhelds around my world, and this silly character. So that's what I've got to say.
Oh,
bye. That was my wife.
That's just a perfect metaphor for YouTube there, just one person has all the mics. Okay, don't think in terms of subscribers, just purely in terms of I need to get more subscribers. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to, if you try and do YouTube purely as a way to make money or something, that's a really bad idea. Just get a normal job, seriously, because you probably won't do it, and not gonna lie. But follow your muse. No subject, also, one thing I would say, no subject is too boring. Don't ever think, oh, I would do this, but will people find it boring? There are channels that do stuff that you could think is perhaps the most dullest thing imaginable, and they still make it interesting, and they get tons of views and people following them for it. You know, you can make anything interesting. It's just about just constantly working. You know, when you start YouTube and you make your first few videos, you continue. You just got to keep it going. Because a couple of years down the line, if you keep on making videos consistently, they'll get better and better and better, and people will respond to that. You know,
you can't be more right. Absolutely. One of my biggest influencers was Lazy Game Reviews. That man does videos about calculators. It's like you tell someone, what do you do for a job? I talk about calculators. Like what? But he's huge and makes incredible content. That video about calculators, I've watched that about 10 times. Like, yeah, you couldn't be more right. He makes it interesting.
Yeah. It's about personality, not necessarily just about subject.
So everything that everyone has already said, but also don't confuse trolling with constructive criticism. And when you start out as a young channel, if someone comes on your channel and says, yeah, your sound's rubbish, don't get offended by that. It might actually be rubbish. And you kind of need to go back and look at your videos and if you want to improve, then you need to be able to take that constructive criticism and not be stubborn. But also, another thing is, okay, so when I think I hit about 100 subscribers and I did my first review, and it wasn't a very good review, obviously, but I had 100 subscribers. There was this one guy, and he went on my blog and he left comments, and he sent me an email and he left comments on my videos telling me that I was worthless, that I was one of the worst YouTubers he'd ever seen in his life, and that I should stop, and that I wasn't funny in the slightest.
I take that back now, to be honest. You've got
very funny, Peter. Thanks for ruining the really poignant moment. Anyway, it really hurt me a lot, and I did think, right, I'm just going to stop because there's no point. But when you're a small YouTuber, it hurts you a lot more. When you get bigger, you realise that these people are just very jealous of you. They're not the ones in front of a camera. They're not the ones who are because you're putting your heart and your soul out into your videos. You're going to get people who are, it's just jealousy and it's fear, and you have to, you know, at the end of the day, it's your life and you're doing what makes you happy, so you just have to keep going with it. It is hard. I mean, some of the emails I still get are horrendous, but the ones that I got at the very start were far worse because I was small, so I was easy pickings basically. So if you're a small YouTuber, you're probably going to get people being nasty to you, but they're the small ones, really. you're the bigger one here, so really do keep at it, because the internet can be a nasty place, and you're making it a nicer place. Yeah. So yeah, just keep at it, really.
You get a lot of people who just want to make a noise, don't you? You get a lot of people who just want to make themselves be heard, and because you're putting yourself out there, that puts them in a kind of place, and they want that stage, but the only way they can achieve it is by throwing hate at you through the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and remember, it's just keyboard warrior, I've genuinely had people write negative stuff on my videos. I've got bigger, I've gone to a convention, and they've walked up to me, oh, hi Dan, I really like your videos. And it's like, you know, it's a completely different person when you meet them. You just got to, like, walk off the duck's back. Again, constructive criticism is a good thing, but you've got to realise that, you know, because I've done an hour-long documentary about GTA, but I accidentally said GTA 2 came out in 96 rather than 97 or whatever, you know nothing about GTA 2, you should go and die, like, you know, whatever, mate. If you are easily offended and you're going to get very upset every time someone says a bad thing about you, unfortunately I don't know if YouTube is the way to go, because you need to be able to have some kind of you need to be able to learn to ignore a little bit in that regard.
Although if you are easily offended, then YouTube is a good place to learn not to be offended. It's a good place to grow as well.
I was in tears about that, the first email that I got from that guy. I was genuinely very upset, but you do become stronger and you realise that actually the person shouting negativity in a sea of people saying positive stuff, they sound the loudest, but they're not.
Yeah, that one comment, one negative comment, can cancel out hundreds of
I obsess
decent,
over them sometimes, but
weird,
it's silly. Yeah. Some of the, I remember ages ago you showed me someone had emailed you having a go at you because you said that Windows 95 was better than 96. Like it was a proper vitriolic
I made a joke. I said Windows 98 is the best operating system by far. And he messaged me. He said, "You're a piece of scum. Why do you insist Windows 98 is so amazing?" He blocked me. About a month later, he unblocked me and he was like, "Hello, mate. You've got over that little problem, have you?" But you know, people get hung up on things, and you can't blame them.
This is for all of you. Why did you want to be a YouTuber?
I wanted to be a YouTuber because I had a stack load of stuff in my house which I couldn't really justify having. And I thought, I'm going to need to talk about this. So I thought the best thing to do would be start making videos about it and sharing it with the world, rather than keeping it secret in my room and dying in a pit of it.
Very similar, really. I have the large games collection and I wanted something to do with it. At the same time, I'd hit 30 years old, I was starting to wind down a bit what I was doing in wrestling, and as a result I decided to go and travel around the world for a year. But I thought to myself, during that time period, I'm going to need to do something to keep my brain healthy, because it's not good for anyone to just not work or do anything for a whole entire year solid. So I thought, I'm going to channel this into trying something new, and that essentially ended up being YouTube. And because I had the extra time to work on it, instead of having a full-time job at that time period, I managed to put a lot of time into it and get more growth than perhaps someone would who was working for their first year doing so.
Yeah, for me, it was very much, I remember going into like loads of retro game shops and stuff like that, and I remember people like, "Oh my god, the 32X, I've heard that's really, really bad," or, you know, basically just relaying what a lot of American YouTubers done. And also, this is the main one, people in England getting very, very nostalgic about the NES. Now, I know one person that had an NES, but I knew so many people that had home computers, ZX Spectrums, Amstrads, all that sort of stuff. And I found myself obviously taking influence from people like Lazy Game Reviews, Larry Bundy, a few others as well. I remember looking and thinking to myself, like, we're almost nostalgic about a past that we didn't have. That's nothing against the Americans. Obviously, they've done an incredible job to be able to do that. They're that powerful, some of those big YouTuber channels that you know. But I knew stories about retro gaming that weren't being told. And I sat on it for about a year, and I kept, I'm going to do that video one day, I'm going to do that video one day. And then finally one day, my wife went out for the day, I sat in front of my PC and said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I just sat there, I made a video about a history of part of gaming that I hadn't been covered before, and I've just never stopped wanting to do that. And yeah, there you go, that was my start off.
I mean, I always wanted to be an actress since I was very little, and then for a while I was an opera singer. But unfortunately, I got into a bit of a controlling relationship, and that kind of was destroyed. And then on the back of that, I was just too depressed, really, to go into, because I had this idea that if you are a creative, if you're a YouTuber or whatever, then you're lazy, you don't have a real job. Like, that is actually what was sort of ingrained into me due to various things. So I got a proper office job as an SEO specialist and everything, and then I think it just got a bit too much because I had zero creative outlet, and then I got this part in Julius Caesar at Brighton Fringe, and I realised, oh my god, I've left behind the thing that I love purely because of what society thinks. And I had this enormous breakdown. I ended up losing my job over it, and I started doing the YouTube because I'd always wanted to, but I was just doing it to keep myself occupied, because I was suddenly at home every day, all day, with some really, really dark thoughts, and I needed to have something to do. Never thought I was going to be a YouTuber. It was just something to do. And put in those first videos, even though they were just videos of me playing games and being bad at them, they were incredibly scary, and I think a lot of small YouTubers need to give themselves more credit for actually putting those first videos up, to be honest. So yeah, that's kind of, yeah, it's huge. It's one of the biggest steps you'll ever make, is putting that first video.
Very, very deflating. You've really got to have that ego, like putting videos out there. I mean, like, for instance, I feel bad doing it now, but I remember after my Streets of Rage video did incredibly well, I thought, I'm going to do Golden Axe. and say Streets of Rage had like 5,000 or 6,000 views at the time, Golden Axe had about 500 views, and I remember going onto the forum like, why is no one watching my Golden Axe video, being really angry? And it's a very deflating thing, but if you do keep at it, and you do have an audience of people that do like your earlier videos or whatever, you will realise, you will get into your groove, and well, I'm not going to tell you it will work, but it's likely to work.
I mean, when I started on YouTube, it's kind of, again, it was kind of similar, like, it was very like US dominated. I mean, still is in many ways, but we've certainly got more of a place now. But also, everyone seemed to just be talking about games they didn't like. There was a lot of rip-offs of the Angry Video Game Nerd, you know, and just, it was all about crappy games and all that. And I thought, why don't people actually talk about games they enjoy? So that's what I kind of wanted to do when I kind of started the channel, and also again talk about things like Sega things, because it was very Nintendo focused, or Amiga, Spectrum.
The amount of youngsters that think that we were a Nintendo country growing up, it's unreal. You know, the video game crash was a huge thing in the UK. Like, you know, all that's so strange.
Yeah, an interesting stat, which I don't think people quite realise about Nintendo's place in the 80s. With the Nintendo Entertainment System, across, it sold 60 million units, which is a lot of units, but 52 million of those units sold in just Japan and America. So the whole rest of the world wasn't really Nintendo orientated.
And that probably had something to do with the fact that one of their main people that sold the NES was Boots.
They were so expensive as well.
Yeah, that's 60 odd quid a game. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go spend 60 quid on Terminator, or you're going to go spend £2.99 on, you know, rolling in the ropes or something.
I mean, Sega came along and they realised that was the master system. Virgin distributed them, and they cut the prices lower and undercut Nintendo. And then that was the right time for people to be like, oh wow, you can get a console with instant loading times compared to the Spectrum, which takes 10 minutes, and we just bypassed Nintendo. Until the SNES, of course, which then gave them traction. They regained some control.
There's nothing against, like, you know, the channels that have made us into a weird nostalgic country almost, but you know, like I say, more power to them. But I really wanted to tell my story.
I think the UK's got a lot of stories to tell, hasn't it? A lot of stories which... Is this working? It's kind of the batteries.
I'm a lot louder than you.
I'm using like zinc carbon batteries or something.
I actually don't know if we still should be going on, but I'm just going to keep going until they tell us not to. Has anyone got any more questions? Oh, over here. Whoa! There we go.
This question is for Kim. Your documentaries, I think everyone can agree, are just amazing. Well researched, and I love them to bits. Just how long does it take you to put a show together?
It depends. Sometimes, because sometimes videos can take, or as you're doing them, they take on a life of their own. Like, there was a video that I did. There was a video that I did about Highlander, and it was like a suggestion that my girlfriend made. I'll do a video on Highlander, the game, and so I thought, okay, and then I kind of looked deeper into the story of the actual terrible game, just thinking, oh, it's just going to be a rubbish game review, 5-minute job, and actually looking at the people behind the scenes who made it, and like how it related to like certain other bigger stories that I've covered before, like Imagine Software. Suddenly it evolves into and becomes a more major video, and it ends up being like a 20-minute job. And obviously then there's stuff like that. There's even longer things like doing Elite or any company documentary. I mean, they can take months to actually get all the research together, and also to a lot of time if I want to chat to people, like say if I want to do something like interview John Hare, let's say as I did for the Sensible documentary, you know, it can take quite a while to actually put all that stuff together. It depends. I mean, some videos are smaller, they might only take a week or so to make. Others, yeah. How long's a piece of string? It depends. I mean, and it depends on how, you know, the angles you get on telling the story you want to tell. Because I mean, I like to have like a narrative flow, so it's all got to kind of fit together cohesively. So there's all sorts of different steps. It's worth it in the end, hopefully.
Do you want to go up for another question? Ask another question? I'm looking at the comments on here just to see if anyone commented on when I fell over, but it doesn't go back that far. someone said, what even is this? A streamer's talk? Okay. I don't think these people are as interested as you guys.
Okay, so has anyone got any further questions?
Like 2 more.
2 more? We'll take 2 more. Anybody?
Maybe 0 more.
No? Okay, here we go. I better mind the slope.
Racist.
Hi there. So you've talked a lot about how you do a lot of work on these, and this is almost like a full-time job for you. Do you ever experience burnout? And if so, how do you counteract that, and how do you deal with that?
Burnout. Yeah. So for me, if I've done like a long documentary which has taken like 3 weeks to make, and I want to kind of catch up and continue putting videos out every week, then it's quite easy to get in a place where you're just knackered and can't continue, especially because I've got 2 kids to look after as well, which take up a lot of time, and it is difficult to allocate for that time without getting worn out. But because it's as long as it's something that I enjoy talking about and something I find interesting, I can keep going. So the only time I really face burnout is if I've got a video which I'm not really into, and I kind of have to push myself to get it out and get it done, and that can be a bit of a slog. But most of the time, I'm just pushed forward because I love what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah, I'd say it's like any other job, really. If you're enjoying it, you're less likely to get burnt out. But at the same time, depends how your mood is going at the time. You might feel lower potentially sometimes and other times. So it's just your mood, really. YouTube's no different to any other profession with that regard, I would say.
I mean, there are times on YouTube where sometimes you do miss, or I miss anyway, the trappings of a conventional job. Like, you have somewhere to go to, and it's separate. Like, it's kind of one thing that can cause burnout, I find, is if you don't have a good work and life balance, because it's very obviously being self-employed, doing it full time. It's very much self-instructed. You've got to do it. So it's always important to just keep that going. That's the kind of way I try to avoid it, to actually make sure I have a life still outside of doing YouTube, and that also being in touch with, because YouTube, editing videos, capturing, writing, it's a very lonely job as well sometimes. You're just kind of doing stuff in your room or whatever, in your office. So yeah, just try and actually make sure I still have a balance, and an actual life is very important.
Yeah, for me, it was this, kick scammers. That was such a different thing to the other videos that I do. So once I've done a couple of complete histories or videos that are like that, I'm like, oh my god, I've literally spent the last 3 weeks looking up House of the Dead. I can't look at another zombie, I'm just going to die. But so something like kick scammers is a nice, just let my hair down, let's just take the mickey out of some really bad Kickstarters, and then once I've done that, then I'm revved up again, ready to look into the history of whatever I'm going to do next. So that's how I break it down. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week at the moment, which is pretty hardcore, and the only way I keep myself sane is just by making them different.
As anyone in the audience who has anxiety or depression will know, just having anxiety or depression means that you're pretty much constantly burned out. It's kind of like having the come down of a massive adrenaline rush all the time. So you're just shattered constantly. And then when it comes to videos as well, it's like one of the things that I struggle with is when I sit down to make a video or write a script or anything, I feel like I'm wading through treacle, and having to try and push through that it's really difficult. I mean, I think I'm burned out all the time, actually. It's just, this is very depressing. But I mean, like my granny's garden video, because I decided it was going to be a green screen, I was really excited about it, and then I got about halfway through editing the thing, and then I was completely burned out, I was annihilated. And then trying to complete a video that you've already promised when you're already burned out is so hard. Yeah. It took me 2 months. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's just how it is. I think it's important though to let yourself be burned out. Like, you can't just force yourself to.
I've got videos I started like a year and a half ago, which I'm still working on slowly because they're just a bit of a slog, and you kind of have to just put them on the back burner until you feel like doing them again.
Yeah, Pac-Man Complete History has taken a long time to finish. We've got enough time for literally one more question if anyone wants to put their hand up. Otherwise, I think we'll be calling it a day. Anyone? Anyone want to hold that back? Yes, over there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to be safe on this last one.
Are you actually going to play something?
Life is a game. It's all a game.
Okay. That's it.
I think that's our cue. So thank you very much, everybody. Should we do an outro? Or should we just say see you later?
I just want to say, I've got 2 books left for sale, which I'll be, if you want a signed copy, I'll be there in about 10 minutes. I'll have some more again tomorrow, but that's all I could bring today because I couldn't carry anymore.
What game is up next?
Apex.
Huh?
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. There you go. Need we say anymore? I think we're definitely the wrong crowd for this. I can see where the conflict is. Thank you very much, everybody. Cheers.